Alrighty, what you say we get started? I'm going to put about a pound of Italian sausage in my pan. And I'm going to put about a pound of the leanest ground beef that I can get. Today at the grocery store, I was only able to get 93% lean, so that's okay. Turn. Okay, start stirring and breaking that up. While that is getting stirred and broke up like that, I am going to dice about a medium onion. I'm going to add this half a medium onion, or about a medium onion, depending on what you and your family like, to the pot. I'm going to start giving that bad boy some stirring. And I want to get all my meat nice and brown, and my onions will get soft. While I do that, I'm going to gather up the rest of my ingredients. Hang on. Alrighty, we're going to keep stirring this bad boy. Turn him up a smidgen. Stirring him. Okay, while that gets going, I have put all of my seasonings in one thing. I have put a good teaspoon of oregano, a teaspoon of basil, a teaspoon of Italian seasoning, about a half a teaspoon of salt, and about a half a teaspoon of pepper. So that's what that all is right there, waiting for me. That way I can just dump and go. And we'll be tasting this here in a little bit anyway. So we can still add more of this or more of that. Here it going. We're going to start smelling the house up. And I like to start it in this big pot. That way I've got enough room to stir. Nothing irritates me any more than putting it in a small pan or bowl or something and then not being able to stir it real good. That's aggravating. Slowly but surely we're getting there. We are almost there. Just a little bit longer to get as much grease as out as we can. This looks good. There's not hardly any grease in it, so that's good. Okay, let's get to draining. Okay, that was some good meat. I didn't have hardly any grease. Okay, so now's when I'm going to add all my stuff. See, to me that just makes it a little bit easier. Just one time, put it in. Okay. Now I'm going to use this marinara sauce, and this is a 24.5 ounce jar. And I tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and use all of it. I like my lasagna really more meaty than I do tomatoey juicy. So that's why, you could add more if you wanted to. Or if you wanted to stretch this a little bit farther, you could add more. Tell you what, let me rinse this jar out and we'll finish what's in that. Get all the good tomato stuff out. And I might wind up doing 2 pans of lasagna. We'll see. Or sometimes I'll make a pan in like a half, a smaller pan. And see where I had my seasonings is the best place to rest your spoon. Now we're getting good and hot again. Like I say, I'm not the most tomatoey person. I could add more marinara in there if I wanted to, or some tomato paste. But this right here ought to be just perfect. Actually, I'm going to take just a dab out and lay them there to the side. And we're going to do a tasty-roo here in a second and see what we think. I'm going to turn him back down a little bit. Time to taste. Alright, it just took me a taste. Tasted pretty good. Alrighty, in a big bowl, I will put, this is a 32 ounce thing of ricotta. I'll put about half of it. Whoops. Say like that. I'll also put 1 egg in it. Start giving that a stir. That ricotta was right out of the fridge. Just kind of squish him in. That's sort of a bad sound, isn't it? Ugh. I have already greased like a 9 by 13, maybe a little bit bigger, like a lasagna pan. I'm going to put just a sprinkling of black pepper because I like it that way. And I'm going to put some basil, just a little bit. Okay, I got some of that pepper in my mouth. And the egg is going to be what helps binds it together. So if you like a thicker lasagna, a more firm lasagna, you could put 2 eggs in here if you were so inclined. Okay, so let's open up our hot pot there. And let's see if you can see me. Hang on. Organize this a little bit better. That's pretty close for government work. And I have been doing this for cooking it for probably about 30-45 minutes. You can cook it longer depending on what you have time for. I think it's good if you cook it long or not. Okay, and you take a little bit of that meat sauce on the bottom. Yeah, maybe I should have put more marinara in it, but that is okie dokie pokey. And I am using a box of oven ready lasagna. And with that, that's why you like it a little bit juicier, because that's where your stuff cooks. It being wet, that's how it cooks. Okay. You'll see me kind of squish those down into the juices of it. And I tell you what I am going to do. Instead of doing the Parmesan and doing about 1,000 steps, I'm going to go ahead and add a cup of shredded Parmesan cheese to my ricotta mixture. See, this was about 5 ounces, so I'm going to add about half of that. How's that? And give that a little bit of a stir. That'll save us a step. You know I'm all about saving some steps. Just mix it right in there. And then I'm going to take some and just kind of dab it out. Like that. I'm going to kind of squish him around like that. A little more. I like to use like smaller blobs, and that way you don't have to squish it around as much. And this is going to kind of spread out anyway because it's cheesy mixture. So I mean, you don't have to have it just to every corner, every nook and cranny. Like that. Then I'm going to get my mozzarella. Now this is totally up to you how much mozzarella you and your family want. I've got very clean hands. Okay, coming out a little bit of a chunk. Sargento family, why are you letting it come out in a chunk? Just kind of scatter them around. I'll probably wind up using not quite a pound, because that's what makes it good. Okay, let's go with this again. Meat sauce. I'm just going to kind of make my work easier and let it help itself around. Let's see, a little more. You kind of got to gauge how tall your baking dish is and like how many layers you're going to want. And then you might want 2 layers, you might want 3 layers, just depending on what you've got, if that makes sense. So you just kind of eyeball it and think, okay, I could put X number of layers still in there. Okay, tell you what, let's do just a little bit more. Okay, now I go back to my oven ready pasta. And you see, like I say, how I'm kind of squishing it down. I want it to be wet because that is how my pasta cooks. So that's kind of why I'm squishing it in there. See? Making sure that everything at least is seated down in there. I'm going to do more of my ricotta mixture. Okay, let's spread this around and see, my finger right there so everything don't go haywire. Looks like I'll get one more layer maybe of everything, and that'll probably be all she wrote. Let's go ahead and finish the ricotta. See, depending on what your family likes, you can put like more layers in it, you can put less layers in it, you can put more cheese, put a little bit less cheese. I think lasagna is like spaghetti. Once you kind of get the basic what for down, the rest of it's easy. You can twink it and pretty good spread. Let's go in again with the best part. I don't like mine to go quite as far to the top because I don't want it to bubble over. Okay. Now let's finish up the sauce, I think. Swap to this one so we can get all the little onions out and the rest of that tomato sauce. Finish throwing that bad boy in there right like that. There we go, and just spread him out. You know what, I have got 4 more pieces of this. Look what I'm going to do. Just going to kind of squish him under there so they're going to be wet. Just kind of cover him up a little bit. Just make sure everybody's nice and we'll get some little juice, little sauce. See? That way I used a whole box. Then if you want to, you can always use the rest of your Parmesan, and I don't get the, we call it the green shaped Parmesan. You just go ahead and finish that off. I like finishing stuff off. That is my thing. And let's go ahead and finish with this cheese. I told you we'd use about a pound. And probably the last little bit of cooking, I might just throw some more on there anyway. Yep, I think I will, because I like it cheesy. I'm going to get me some aluminum foil. Maybe if I don't rip every cuticle in my fingers out trying to get the aluminum foil out. Don't y'all think that the devil made those little things on aluminum foil and saran wrap that cut you? I think so. Now, I always put my lasagna under aluminum foil, at least for the first little bit. And I don't want that drying out. I just try to seal him down best I can. And let's see, okay, let's see, bake. 4:25. Start. Alrighty. I'm gonna give that a minute or two and then put it in the oven. And we're gonna get to eating here shortly. Hang on. Alrighty, just took this bad boy out of the oven. It stayed in there about 40 minutes or so. Look, I'm picking the little things that stuck to the top. What I'm going to do is I am going to, let's turn off the oven. I'm going to let this sit for about 15 minutes. Let all the juices get back into where it's supposed to be. And we will cut into this bad boy. See, everything got the, see the noodles got nice? See, they got done. Yum, yum. I hope y'all enjoyed this.